I started off at the last executive committee meeting that our First Minister was there asking, was I speaking to the First Minister for all, or was I speaking to the First Minister of no alternative? I think that's a question that really needs to be put to the First Minister. And really we need to go after this to actually get to the bottom of what she thinks and what she understands. It's a sad state of affairs in 2025 when we are in this position where the First Minister of Northern Ireland, we don't know whether she believes that murder was justified or there's no alternative, or what her personal view is. I'm very clear, all murder was wrong. Sadly, our First Minister can't say the same thing. For Michelle Gildernew to say that murder was justified, it just shows you the mindset of Sinn Fein. You know, we have to dig into this, Stephen. When we look at the IRA killing of 12 people, remembering the war dead in Enniskillen in 1987, you know, Michelle O'Neill, was that murder? It's sad that we have to be as specific as that, but that's the place we find ourselves in today. I've raised with Michelle O'Neill before the murder of Yvonne Dunlop in Ballymena, where she lauds and has put out tweets about Thomas McElwee, who planted the firebomb that ultimately resulted in the death of Yvonne. Stephen, we still are no further forward. Michelle O'Neill is speaking out of both sides of her mouth.
Timothy Gaston?
What about her here? Let's look at this, Stephen, in the timeline. Previously, we had a Sinn Féin member in, Jerry Adams, who said the abduction of Jean McConville was wrong, but it wasn't a crime. Jerry, that was murder. Michelle O'Neill says there's no alternative. There was an alternative. This is happening time and time again, and this is just another reminder in 2025 that how Sinn Féin aren't fit for office. They're not fit to be First Minister, and I would really call on those that sustain her in office to have a look at this. You know, I listened there to the clip from Michelle O'Neill yesterday. There was nothing in that, you know, there's no outrage. There's no outrage there, Stephen. I don't believe that Michelle O'Neill disagrees at all with what Michelle...
Well, she's clearly said she does.
Well, there's nothing in that gives me any conviction that she believes in that. She has said stuff in the past.
Eddie.
She goes, she lauds terrorists, she lauds murder, and I think she's more disappointed about her calling this place a SH1T hole. I think that's probably Michelle O'Neill's bigger problem than that murder was justified, because that's just bringing off the mask of Sinn Féin. That's their mindset. That's what they think. Stephen, 2025, they're still not fit for government.
Will you be asking through the mechanisms of Stormont?
Well, the next time our First Minister comes, I will once again ask, is she First Minister for all today, or is she the First Minister of no alternative? There needs to be a clear question put to Michelle O'Neill. Does she see a distinction between murder and killing? That's something that over the next number of months, when I get the opportunity, I certainly want to go after, because there's no difference. There's absolutely no difference at all. And the media and other politicians need to call her out from that, out over that.
Matthew, this programme is seeking clarity this morning.
Yeah.
With questions into Sinn Féin, and we're seeking clarity about what our First Minister stands for in terms of how she's distinguishing between Michelle Gildernew and herself.
One of the things, Stephen, is the hypocritical nature of Michelle O'Neill. She stands up here and she's championing the end of violence against women and girls, and I absolutely agree with that strategy wholeheartedly. But Michelle O'Neill won't turn around and say that violence against women and girls pre-1998 was wrong and always wrong. And that's something I have a massive concern.